All right. So, Rochford, we'll do Skinner first.
Skinner?
Yes.
All right, got it.
All right.
Good morning, board members.
Morning, Mr. Skinner.
Good morning.
Gonna go ahead and get started with your case. Morning, my name is Bob Shamroy. Today is Monday, December 30th, 2024. This is the hearing of the Connecticut Board of Paroles. Board members are present this morning by stating their names on the record. Certify they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available for information in preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, sir. I'm Jennifer Zaccanini.
Good morning, panel member Rodriguez.
And I'm Ellen Zappo Sasso.
Also with us this morning are members of OBS. Sir, please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Dean Skinner, 293-889.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Dean Skinner, inmate number 293-889. He is serving a sentence of 8 years, execution suspended after 3 years, followed by 5 years probation for illegal discharge of a firearm, criminal possession of a firearm or defense weapon, breach piece 2, illegal operation motor vehicle under the influence 3rd. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of January 14, 2025. There is victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. The merit review shows the offender has completed the following programs: domestic violence and the DUI track 3 program. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score in the SRT falls within a very high range of risk for recidivism. So this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
I made a mistake. I haven't been right in the head since my motorcycle accident in 2018. I suffered a traumatic brain injury. I had trouble with my emotions, and I had been doing well for a very long time. And then that just started a downward spiral with me, and I would like the chance to get out and get back to being better and working on the issues at hand, like the brain injury and my alcoholism.
Okay. Thank you for your statement. Mr. Skinner, we do have questions for you. When we're done with our questions, we'll hear from the Office of Victim Services. We do have some input today. Then we'll deliberate and give you our decision. We'll begin with my colleague, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Skinner, just a couple of things. When was your motorcycle accident?
2018.
2018. You were having issues though with your driving under the influence before your motorcycle accident, correct?
My last incident with that was 2005-06 range.
So before you were having issues. My moment was you were having issues before.
A long time ago. Yes, I was. Yes.
Also issues with your anger as well, correct?
I've never had the greatest of tempers, but I was getting better at controlling my temper over the years as I grew up. I was getting older and I wasn't as young and stupid as I used to be. And then I made that mistake. I let emotions get the best of me.
I mean, this is pretty serious, right? I mean, what we're dealing with is pretty serious.
Yes.
Shooting into someone's condo, running the risk of injuring someone or maybe even killing someone. I'm just trying to understand that kind of anger.
I honestly, the whole reason I went back there is it felt like it was almost a dream. I didn't think I'd actually done it. It was more like I thought I dreamt doing it, and that's why I went back there. I didn't realize it until it was already done, and that's when I went back to see if I'd actually done what I'd done. It's almost I'm not sure.
You blacked out?
It wasn't really a blackout because I didn't start drinking until after the fact. It was more like my brain just stopped working in a normal. I don't know if it was due to the brain injury because I crushed my entire front orbital lobe. I had 5 air pockets on my brain from the motorcycle accident. I crushed everything in there. So I don't know exactly how it worked. All I know is I didn't think I'd actually done it.
Yeah. Your victim in this was your girlfriend?
Yes, she's now ex, yes.
And
We've been having issues.
you realize that you do have a protective order?
I do now, yes.
Do you understand what that means?
I can't go anywhere near her. I can't have any contact with her. None of it.
That's till 2077,
Yeah, basically for the rest of our lives.
basically. Well, you tell me a little bit about, I know because I can see that you've taken some treatment since you've been there.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about what you've done in terms of your treatment.
I
I'll tell you what, let's do this. Give me the program that was the most, that seemed to help you the most.
currently I'm in what they call the change unit, where we work on our addiction services. I went through the DUI program that helped me the most because a lot of my issues are amplified by the use of alcohol. And that is something that I'm taking very seriously at this point in time. That's why I've moved into that unit to get away from certain other behaviors of this place. And I attend the meetings and groups that I'm supposed to attend in preparation for when I get out to attend meetings and counseling out in the world as well. So talking about things and having a decent support network is helping me to keep anger issues under control.
Tell me what you've done around your relapse work. What's your relapse prevention plan?
At this point in time, I have a very small network out in the world, but I want to start attending meetings on a regular basis when I get out there so that I can obtain a sponsor and healthy network of people to talk to, and staying away from people who condone my drinking and think that it's fun.
Have you connected with anyone from CCAR or?
At this point in time, I hadn't gotten any of that information. I'm in the process of trying to find somewhere to go. I was possibly thinking of trying to get into a sober house when I leave here.
I mean, I want to share with you just up front that kind of concerns me. That kind of preparation work that you haven't got to start working on that yet.
I didn't know I was seeing you guys until the beginning of this month. And it takes a while for me to get that information.
But separate from us, you're trying to get your life together, whether we do something here today or not, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So we decided
It just, time wise, I thought I had a little more time.
But you do have some time. Your EOS isn't until July 26th.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, you do have time to kind of set that up. I mean, for me, that's kind of a major concern. It's not the first issue you've had with driving while intoxicated, right? Issues early on. This is a very serious offense. One of the issues you just said is your alcohol use is a problem for you. So for me, I would like to have seen probably a little bit better relapse plan for yourself and a little bit more connection already to the outside, having kind of prepared that stuff outside instead of waiting till you got out to kind of prepare it. You rate high to recidivate again, even though I did see some of your evaluation work from your DUI track, which was not, which is positive to some degree. The other concern I had is that when you opened up your statement, you shared no concern or remorse for your victim in this. And I'm trying to understand that.
I do have remorse and concern. I mean, there's mixed emotions. The 5 years her and I had our relationship were a back and forth, and it was very, very emotional and things of that nature. I don't wish her harm. I don't know exactly why I did what I did, other than I was angry. And I don't want to hurt her. I don't want her to be injured. I just want to move on with my life and forget about her.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can understand that. You've heard some of my concerns with this particular situation with you. What's your plan for employment?
That is something that's been an issue since my motorcycle accident. I was a construction worker for the majority of my life. The physical injuries that I sustained, I'm unable to really do a lot of that work now. So I'm trying to get my disability reinstated so that I can try and find a job that I can physically do. There were several prospects I had before my offense that were working relatively well. I was thinking about possibly going back to Tractor Supply and seeing if I could get a full-time job there, because I have knowledge in many of those fields. I can operate a forklift, which doesn't use much of my physical body, so that would be something that I could do. Like I said, I was a roofer and a pipe fitter for the majority of my life, so those are things I can't physically do anymore.
But you are thinking of in terms of employment. Have you been trying to search online?
The application we've had here is been taken off of our tablet. I have no access to look for it. My tablet had, when I first got here, it had an application where I could look through and find jobs that would hire felons, but we can't contact them from here. So that's something I would have to do from the halfway house or sober house as soon as I get out.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. What's going to be your support? You said you had a small support system. Can you define that for us?
It's basically family. My mother, my brother who just moved back from Texas, one of my friends who lives next door, and one other friend that I've known for many years who lives in West Hartford. They've always tried to help me. They've always wanted the best for me. They're all I really have.
And my last question, you took DV?
Yes, I do.
Can you just tell us a little bit about what you've learned from that and what skills you'll be taking out with you to be able to help you control that? No matter, you're bound to get in a relationship at some point.
Yeah, I've learned that I need to keep my anger in check and think about how I talk to people and things of that nature, because I tend not to take other people's feelings into consideration when the words come out of my mouth sometimes, and I need to focus more on that. When I was seeing my therapist out in the world, he had mentioned to me that I'm very blunt with things that I say, and it comes across a little asshole-ish, I think it would be the best word. It's just very direct, very to the point. I don't sugarcoat things very well. So that's something I've learned in the domestic violence that can be construed the wrong way, and I need to work on that.
What do you need to do in order to do that?
I've always been by myself very much. I've separated myself from most of society in order to stay out of trouble, because I just didn't like it. So I need to continue with my therapy. I need to work on socializing with small groups of people and get better at that.
Okay. You didn't take a tier program, correct?
I have not taken a tier program. I did the DUI track, and then I've moved into the recovery dorm.
Are there additional programs you think you should be taking?
I'm not sure. I think for myself, a lot of it is the mental health aspect and talking with a therapist on a regular basis.
Thank you for answering my questions, Mr. Skinner. For the moment, if I have any more, I'll ask when my colleagues have finished asking their questions. But thank you so much, and good luck to you.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Skinner, I think my colleague covered much of what I needed to ask. My biggest concern is, given your criminal history, your admitted alcoholism, and other medical issues, why would you have a gun?
I honestly, someone had given it to me. I had primarily had it for home protection, but there again, the lapse of judgment, I grabbed it and left with it. I mean, normally I would leave it in the safe at home, but I don't know. I don't really.
I mean, you shouldn't even, you shouldn't have it anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
I understand that. Someone had given it to me, and
Well, and I don't understand that either, because my friends don't offer to give me guns.
he was someone that was moving away, and I had known him for a little while, and he just gave it to me.
Yeah, and that's not legal. Mr. Skinner, how long were you in A relationship with the victim?
5 years.
5 years. And how long had it been at the time of this offense? How long had you been broken up?
About a week.
Okay. And what led to your breakup?
Her deceit. She would always lie to me about what she was doing and where she was, and that's something that had been going on for most of the 5 years.
Okay. So did you break up with her?
I think it was a mutual. We had gotten into a fight earlier in the week over the phone. We had been arguing, and
Okay.
that was the end of it.
Okay. So you didn't want to be with her anymore?
Part of me did, part of me didn't.
Why would you want to be with someone who you say is lying to you all the time?
I have no idea. I have no
Okay.
idea. I thought I loved her. I don't know.
Yeah.
She was a main circumstance in the motorcycle accident and everything that had happened that night as well.
But the motorcycle accident that you said happened in 2018?
Yes, that was at the beginning. That's at the beginning of our relationship.
So you harbored resentment and anger for those years that you stayed with her?
I don't think I harbored resentment at that point. I'm just saying I was with her earlier in the evening and I was in the process of turning around to go back to see her when I was in the motorcycle accident. There were feelings involved and I was trying to work through things with her at the time. And then the following 5 years, she was there for me after the accident. And then in the time that came after, I found out about certain things that she had been doing during those following years.
Okay. So what was your intent when you went to the house and shot into her home?
It was more so she knew how upset I was. I think, I honestly, like I said, I don't have a clear memory of everything that I did. I thought it was a dream. I thought that, and then I went back to see if I had really done it.
Yeah.
And that's when the police were there and I was
Okay.
arrested.
And what time was this?
They believe I was arrested around 1 a.m. So it would have been a few hours before that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, 9:30, 10-ish, I think. I'm not really sure.
Okay. But at night.
Yes.
So you shoot into a bedroom window at night where someone might be sleeping.
I didn't realize that one went through the window. I was primarily putting them through the garage door.
Huh. All right, Ms. Zappa?
My only question, Mr. Skinner, is, do you understand that if the 5 years of probation means that there's going to be an awful lot of people following you and working with you to ensure that you stay on the straight and narrow?
Yes.
The halfway house recommendation that you've asked for or sober house, is in the Hartford area. Is that something temporary? Do you plan on returning to your past neighborhood when you're done with this piece of it?
If possible. My home that I had before is going to my brother, who just moved back from Texas. The only other chance I would have, unless I find an apartment somewhere, would be to live in an apartment above my mother. So I don't know exactly where I would be going. Most of the job opportunities I know of would be in a relatively close area to the Vernon area, because I've lived there my entire life.
Okay. I do want to say that the fact that you've been consistently refusing opiates as part of your back pain because you want to maintain your sobriety is actually a very good thing to see. It shows that you're taking that seriously. And I know that that's hard based on certain pain levels. So if you keep doing that, I think that you could possibly be on the road to conquering some of these substance abuse issues. So good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we're done with our questioning. At this time, we're going to turn the hearing over to the Office of Victim Services for input. Ms. DeJesus, thank you.
Good morning, board members. I do have a brief statement, and it reads as follows. My name is Kelly Carvel. It was my home that Dean Skinner shot 3 bullets into. It was my life he was trying to shorten. Obviously, I am against any early release. It's foolish to think that Dean Skinner will not come looking for me upon release. I am asking you to please allow me to be safe until at least the summer of 2026. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. DeJesus. So at this time, we're going to deliberate about your case and we'll give you our decision shortly, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, look, and clearly Mr. Skinner has done some work. DV's done the DUI track, got a positive evaluation during his DUI track work. I have some concerns.
Mm-hmm.
One, there was no acknowledgement early on about the responsibility he had in this particular action. He does have an addiction services, and I know the DUI covers this, but it would seem to me that he's not really set up at this moment with a strong relapse plan. I think to come out, I think he's headed in a very positive direction, and does want to do something with his sobriety. But I think he clearly said he had very little support in the community. I would have liked to see a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear what my colleagues have to say at this moment. Unless I hear something different, I would be a denial with maybe a rehear.
Thank
And
you.
allow him to give me the opportunity to establish a little bit much stronger plan to be able to come out. And also there's the testimony of the victim in this, which also concerned me to some degree.
Yeah.
Feelings about her safety.
Yes. Okay. So for me, this crime is very serious, very scary, and we're lucky that he's lucky that he's not in for murder. We're lucky that a life was not lost here because it very well could have happened. The victim is obviously still afraid, as anybody would be when someone's shooting into their bedroom window. So we have the victim impact, the serious nature of the offense, and I really don't hear a whole lot of insight. And in fact, I was concerned about some of the things said here today, such as he's going to try to get over her and put this out behind him. And, it sounds like he's still a little angry or blaming the victim in some way. I don't hear enough, as you already stated, there isn't very much of a release plan. So I think he could probably use the extra time to develop that. And he does have the 5 years of probation to follow his sentence. So my vote would be to deny. I certainly wish Mr. Skinner the best and hope that he is sincere in his desire to change and that he'll continue to work on himself in probation. But I would not be interested in a rehear. Ms. Zappa?
I think the release plan has to have some specific components that will benefit him for what was referenced in a lot of the documents that we read with some of what his needs are. Also, hopefully, if there was additional time, there could be some assistance to him to apply for disability and set up all of that. I think a sober house is definitely an option for him, and that there could be an orderly plan for what that release looks like.
Okay. What's your vote?
I will go along with my colleagues with a deny at this point, but I would be open to a rehear.
Okay. You guys want to rehear?
I would.
Okay. I just hate to put the victim through it again.
If you really set something up, it
Right.
really makes sense to to come out. Right now, I'm just not comfortable with him coming out without a really strong plan.
No, I understand,
support,
but probation can handle that. We'd have to bring the victim back again to say how scared she is for him to be released. But if that's what you guys want to do, I can oppose the rehear. I mean, we're talking about a year. What's his estimated? Do you have his straight up? No. No, it won't be July that. It's probably,
Is projected at this time.
it is estimated.
Since July 14th.
Yeah, hang on. Let me see.
I had parole eligibility as January 15th.
Yeah, no, we're looking for his
Oh, I
end
have
date.
the OS at 5/13.
5/13. Okay, so we're talking a year and, a year and
6
4 months, something like that.
A year.
I mean, when would you rehear him and what would you have him do? Not gonna, I mean, he already did the DV and the DUI program.
I want to see a stronger release plan put together and set up with MC car on the outside, a sponsor set up already from sales.
Yeah, I mean, he should have been working on that regardless of
Should-
parole date.
I'm thinking June or July. 6 months down.
6 months from now? And what would you have him do?
Try to get an addiction service program to add to his knowledge
Okay.
of the issue that he has, and establish a strong release plan to come out.
Okay,
I think there needs to be some case management here, and I don't know enough about what's offered.
that won't happen now. No. That's for base. Okay, what would you have him do? Anything else, anything different or?
I think a tier program makes sense if that's the direction we're gonna go.
Strong release
And
plan.
yeah, I'm not sure that they do that with the DUI, but, okay, and develop a release plan. Okay, July, is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right, in the matter of Dean Skinner, inmate number 293889, I'll move to deny parole at this time and rehear the case in July of 2025. Reasons for denial are injury and impact to the victim. What else? What other reason do you want?
Nature and circumstances.
Well, yeah, that's not going to change.
Inadequate release.
Okay, nature and circumstance, victim impact, and inadequate
Inadequate.
release plan. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're gonna rehear the case with the recommendation, we'll rehear the case in July with the recommendation that you do an addiction services program and develop a stronger release plan. Okay, for the record, I am opposed to a rehear, so please put that in the written decision. All right, we'll see you in July, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
Aaron for Dean Skinner, inmate number 293889.
Okay.
Any particular order now, or do you want someone else?
Right, but the DUI.
We'll take him however.
No, that I can see that. I can see the DUI.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Right,
We'll take him however you want to give them.
let's see.
Okay.
Thanks.
You guys have made sure whoever went first. Same.
Yep. Should do.
Sir, what's your name?
Ramos, Junio Ramos,
Give us 1 second.
no problem.
All right, Mr. Ramos, we're gonna go ahead and get started with your case. Morning, my name is Rob Shenway. Today is Monday, December 30th, 2024, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. Only board members are present this morning, and by stating their names on the record, certified that have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, sir. I'm Jennifer Zaccanini.
Morning, panel member Rodriguez.
And I'm Ellen Zappo Sasso.
Sir,
morning.
please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Junio Ramos,
Inmate number, please.
3302.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Junio Ramos, inmate number 433302. He is serving a sentence of 4 years, followed by 2 years special parole for criminal possession of a firearm, ammunition, or defense weapon, carrying a pistol without a permit, a violation of probation with the underlying offenses, possession with intent to sell or dispense narcotics, and illegal possession of a weapon in a motor vehicle. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of January 8, 2025. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has completed the following programs: domestic violence in Tier 2, utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system. The offender's overall score on the SRT falls within the moderate range of risk for recidivism. Sir, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. Maybe can.
Can you repeat that last what you said just now?
You can address the panel and let them know why you think you should be granted parole.
Starting off, not to say I'm perfect. I'm still learning life. I take everything accountability of what I did. I'm not sorry for nothing. I did nothing a mistake, so I take accountability. And the reason why I should be paroled, I did DV program, which I learned, I had a case, so I learned that. I know how it is to conduct myself, to be better behavior, and try to listen and, understand situation instead of just, getting out of the way. And then I did Tier 2, which I wasn't doing drugs, but I was selling drugs, I'm into it. I'm honest about what I'm saying. I was selling drugs. But in Tier 2 teach me that, you can lose everything within, a blink of an eye, and I learned that, you gotta be careful who you pick as your friends, who you have around you, especially around your kids, around your family, and, not to be drinking alcohol, be careful how you partying out there. Just the little things can get you in a big trouble. And right now I'm inactive with school right now, trying to get my GED, trying to better myself. So by the time I come out, I can better myself for me and my community and for my loved ones. Because life is too short, and this is my first time being this long incarcerated within 2 years now. And I made bad choices. I'm not perfect, like I said, I made bad choices. But now within the time I've been incarcerated this long, I have good intention within myself to be better for myself. So by the time I come out, I can do the right thing, get my job, do what I'm supposed to do, finish my trucking class, and just proceed with my life.
Thank you for your statement, Mr. Ramos. We're going to ask you some questions, okay?
Yes.
All right, so let's make sure I have this correct. We're going to lay the facts all out here. So you're on probation for having a gun and selling drugs, and you're back for 2 separate gun convictions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Did you hear what I just said? It sounds pretty bad, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't understand why you needed the guns and why, after you continue to be convicted for weapon convictions, you pick up more guns.
I can't make up no story or say, hey, I'm trying to make up an excuse, but I've been through an incident, was in the Virgin Islands, because I'm not from here, I'm from St. Thomas.
Right.
And I got a situation with my son where he got shot with me, but the incident wasn't with me, it was another family member.
Yeah.
And I'm a family guy, so at the same time, I had de-escalate the situation, talk it out. And then from right there, that situation got involved with me because of me trying to help my family member. But
Yeah, no, I read about the incident in the Virgin Islands. What year was that?
That was in 2017, September, around that time.
Right,
2017.
okay, so that's 2017, but again, in 2020, you have the weapon conviction, so you should have learned then that, okay, fine, you were
Yes,
scared, you can't do this.
exactly.
22, you have
I-
another one. 23, another one. I mean, when does it end? So you're gonna go back out and pick up some more because of something that happened years ago?
No, to be honest, that's foolishness of me trying to even just trying to explain the situation, but it's not right for me to say, hey, because of this happened, I should not even, you know, I was wrong for even doing that. And I take
Right, that's
accountability.
a given. Yeah, you don't have to tell
Yes.
us that, we know this. So, but also, you need the guns because you're selling drugs. Why do you keep selling drugs? Get a job.
I had a job, I'm gonna lose a job, but with my idea as me being up here, I wasn't accustomed to living up here, so I was basically going off and say, hey, it's a fast way to make money. So I'm being honest, you know, this is the way I sustain. I can't say I did it. I did it because to provide for me, to abstain myself, to stay where I was staying, but it was wrong because at the same day, I'm selling poison to people and causing harm to someone else.
Yeah. Where was your job? You haven't had a job in a while. Where was your job?
I was working for a trucking company. I left that job and I was working for Cybulski. And then I was not recently, but I was working for Amazon. I was basically a pod builder.
Yeah.
Amazon in Bristol that just recently got built. I was a pod builder in there.
Wow. That incident, the at Popeyes, what was going on? That was crazy.
To be honest, I'll explain what happened. It was a job dispute. We was working in a line, and the young lady that was there, we was dating at the time.
Right.
Somebody told
I
me.
read the police report. Yeah.
Yeah, we was dating at the time, and it was a job dispute. She was the manager, I was the worker, and then she was, you know, shouting to me. It was between a job dispute. So I told her, you know, I heard you because he told me something the first time, and I heard it, but I was ready to prep it to get it on the table. So by the time it looked like she didn't see me moving fast enough within her time, she shouted at me, and right there, you know, the situation escalated to where our next employee got involved, and the employee got involved. I don't know if they mentioned that, but he got involved. And then from right there, I was like, hey, you know what? You know, I got out of hand. I said words, you know, I got aggressive, but I didn't use my hands. I didn't approach nobody physical, you know, it was just vertical. And then from right there, I said, you know what? They told me to leave and I left. I was gone. Then the detective called my phone. Then he said, where you at? Then I came back. I wasn't driving.
Mhm.
I was not driving. My friend was driving. So when we came back at the scene, he was like, you Mr. Ramos? I said, yes, sir, I'm Mr. Ramos. He said, well, we're about to detain you. We're about to put you in the car. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
no problem. So do I have a say? Do I have a right to speak? And he was like, no, due to the fact that what happened and such. So they just took me and put me in jail. And they didn't give me a reason to explain the situation because they have cameras and I told them to run the cameras to see really what happened.
Well, there were witnesses who gave statements. All right, we'll move on from that. Why did you fire in the 22 incident? Why did you fire the weapon? Fire the gun?
I fired just to be honest, from the foolishness.
Okay, but that's not good enough. All of it is foolishness. So that's not a good enough explanation. There had to be a reason that you shot a gun.
Well, I don't
What led to
remember I don't remember the day one that it happened, but I like to say I fired it because, you know, probably I was under intoxicated.
Oh.
Because, like I said, once it comes to, I can't say I'm not sorry for what I did, but I can't bring these actions. You know, I got to take accountability for it. I know I did wrong, and
Yeah.
I fired it because I probably say, hey, I was probably out of it, and then I realized that.
But you say that drugs aren't a problem for you. You don't use drugs.
Yeah, I don't use it. You know, I was selling drugs.
Explain, you're on probation and you got multiple positive urines.
For I used to smoke marijuana. That's marijuana. But to me, we back home in the Virgin Islands, we don't call that drug. We call it a herb. It's basically a plant.
Yeah, well, you're not in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, I understand. But I'm just saying what we phrase to the word
Right.
marijuana, you know?
Right. I mean, this is a lot, Mr. Ramos. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yes.
You're 36 years old. You're not a child anymore. In fact,
No, I'm not.
you have 4 young children who need a father.
Yes.
It's a lot. You really need to change your life.
And trust me,
Everything about it.
the longest I've been down this custody, this my longest been down. I mean, like I'm telling you, I go to school, I read the Bible a lot, and what I did, I can't say I'm sorry for or I made a mistake. This is what I have to accept. This is the accountabilities that I take for myself. And I took
All right.
and I can't change nothing. I know what I
Yeah.
did is not right in you guys' eyes. And I'm like I said,
In
I'm
anybody's eyes.
trying-
Yeah.
trying to
Right.
better
Listen,
myself.
you have 2 years of special parole to file your sentence, so you're going to get parole one way or another. So I would strongly encourage you to take advantage of the services, the support of your parole officer.
Yes.
They should be your someone you're close to and you keep in close contact with because
Yes.
they're there to help you. Ms.
Yes.
Zappo?
Mr. Ramos, tell me about Jonathan Roach and what type of future employment he may be able to provide for you upon release.
Well, Jonathan Roach is a good friend of mine. I've known him when I, came up, and he was the one that, was trying to keep me on a good path and to do right. And like I said, my ignorancy, not knowing somebody was trying to help me to do better. At the same time, it's just that where I came from is like, it's a lot of crime, but Mr. Roach, he has a job for me that way. He works dealing with inmates. Basically, he flies state to state. He works from home on a computer. He's basically like a mentor towards these juveniles. So whenever these juveniles need help or needs of what they need, he'd be the one to provide for them. So basically, for instance, if he's been with the jail for like 2 years, in and out seeing the inmates, and if they're doing good progress with themselves, then he can give and say, hey, this guy is changing his life. I recommend him to be paroled. You know what I'm saying? So Mr. Jonathan is a good mentor to me right now. And he got me when I'm ready to be out of here. He has a job waiting for me. Basically, it's 2 jobs. One, doing a survey, as in going around, giving people survey, like 10 survey to do a day, basically to give the rights so somebody can vote. The inmates can vote so they can have rights within the prison. So, yeah, Mr. Jonathan is everything right now that's supporting me right now.
Is that going to be enough for you when you are upon release?
Like
Because
I told him too, it takes process. So while I'm out there, any job that's available right now to me, any temp job, any jobs that's willing to help me, I would advise take head on these jobs, because at the end of the day, this is my life. I need to organize what I need to do for myself. And by he helping me, I appreciate it. So basically, I'm open to whatever job is waiting for me out there right now.
Okay, I mean, I guess my concern is that you had said in some of the reports that I read that you were selling drugs in order to support yourself. You have
Yes.
4
Yes.
young children.
Yes.
So I understand the attraction of fast money and that it's easy.
You're right.
But this is the whole conversation we're having. We need to know that that's not going to happen again. And the risk of public safety is something that we consider heavily when we look at this. And, drugs and guns are very serious.
Yes, and you're very right. And what I want to say is that I can't say no other way but say, hey, when I speak, it's my words. I can't go and say, hey, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to better myself. Like I said, I'm a working person. I've been always working my life. So I will never go back to the same mistake I did. I'm trying to do right so I could be with my kids. Right now, I have a newborn. He needs me a lot. Right now, I have a son. He needs me a lot. I have my 2 daughters back home. Every time I talk to them on the phone, just talking to them alone, it's kind of, sad for me, because at the end of the day, I should think about my kids before even thinking about doing the wrong things. And I can't say I'm sorry for nothing. I just got to deal with accountability and better myself. So when I come out, I don't have these kind of problems no more, be for my kids and do what I have to do for myself.
Thank you. Ms. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Ramos, I'm just trying to understand, you said you were carrying a gun because you were fearful for protection. And one of the things you said was, one of the reasons was because they might come back to finish the job. How has that changed?
The reason why I explain it that way, because I explain it the way that how is my Virgin Islands, you know, because back home it's not like America. We're part of the United States, but we don't have much laws that protects. You understand what I'm saying? So things get out of hand. And like I said, the situation was not with me, it was a family member. And from right there, when that situation happened, and when it happened the day I was just putting gas into the generator during the time of the hurricane. And I came outside, my son asked me to come outside with me to help me. And then in that time, I put in the gas and I felt like I'm getting hit. And then when I realized, it's like, I was sent off to the hospital, you know, I got hit in my left leg, came on right, break my femur bone, got hit in my side right here, I got grazed here. My son got hit in his stomach, came out of an exit wound. He got hit his kidney, his kidney, intestines, and his liver was, you know, punctured at the same time. But
my question, Mr. Ramos, is how has that changed? How has that
it's,
thinking changed about them coming to finish the job?
because when I explain the situation, because stuff I see in my life, I've never been in problems. You understand what I'm saying? This is just all this is just according to me right now. You understand the things that I'm doing. I wasn't getting in trouble when I was young, but me having to say a gun is not right, because a gun is bad. You understand? It harms people, and at the same time I say, yeah, I needed it because I was traumatized from the situation. I don't, to the fact that I don't want it, I don't need it, but I was traumatized. And I was fearful myself, thinking that somebody's gonna literally, you know, come and look for me, because due to the fact that you have Instagram, Facebook, and the situation is not with me, but this is what my mind is gonna think to prepare myself for the outcome. So when I seen that, I was like, you know what? This is not right for me to be out here with a firearm, and it's wrong, because I'm not a harmful person when it comes to crime. I got harmed for something that I did not did. So I'm not trying to say it's an excuse of nothing what I'm saying, but it's wrong for carrying a gun. And as my wrongdoing of doing that, carrying a gun, since I came up here to better my life with my kids, I should have maybe never had it in the first place. I should have just did the right thing and continue as looking for job, like I said, but I got weak-minded. And I looked for the fast way and I got caught up. That's it.
Yeah, I still don't know how that's changed, but anyway, one other thing, just, what are you doing about did you do anything about your education since you've been in? What have you done about your education?
Right now I'm in school right now. I'm enrolling in school right now to get my GED.
You're enrolling right now?
Yes, I'm enrolled already. I've been in for like,
how long have you been enrolled?
I've been in for like, I could say 6-7 months now, about that. 6-7, about that.
All right, listen, thank you, Mr. Ramos, for answering my question.
All right, sir, we're going to deliberate. Give us a few minutes and we'll give you our decision, okay?
All right, no problem.
All right, so I have serious concerns, obviously, about Mr. Ramos. I think I expressed them. We're talking about 3 weapons convictions in just a matter of years. This is not someone who had a gun in his house for protection in case someone came after him. It's somebody who's wearing a gun regularly with backup ammunition, 27 rounds, and firing his weapon for apparently no known reason, while on probation for having a loaded gun under his seat in the car. It's just bad choice after bad choice after bad choice. He said over and over that he knows now the difference. I didn't hear much insight or much by way of explanation, really. You know, you tried. I think we all tried, and it was the same apology or lack thereof. I'm not sure. I just don't see how things would be different. He sold drugs because he wanted to sell drugs. He wanted the fast money. We heard that. And he does have the 2 years of special parole that he hopefully will benefit from. You know, maybe incarceration is what he needed to really, because he got off easy on his last
Good.
conviction. And maybe they didn't give him enough time to really teach him. I don't know, but
He was on probation.
he was on probation. Yeah, for me, it's a denial. It's just it's too risky for me. The weapons on the streets are very concerning, and I'm not convinced that it won't happen again. Ms. Zappo,
I agree.
Mr. Rodriguez.
I'm in agreement as well. I mean, you just recently talked about somebody coming back to finish the job, and if that's what he feels, why wouldn't he try to protect himself again? So I'm in the same place. Put it out.
All right, let's see. Nature and circumstance, obviously, offenses committed while on probation. Anything else? Special parole, I have a halfway house and a co-defendant. Anything else?
No.
Are you related to Glorabel in any way?
Say it again?
Your co-defendant, Glorabel, are you related at all?
Laurabelle,
You don't know who that is? They were in the car with you, in your possession with intent case with drugs. No? Okay, maybe you called them by a different name. Okay. All right. He did do domestic violence on the inside, but that was for a case that was, I don't know if it was nullied or an unconditional discharge. Do we want him to do DV on the outside?
Yeah.
Got an excellent evaluation, by the way, from his DV program. All right, in the matter of Junio Ramos, amendment number 433302, I'll move to deny parole for the following reasons: the nature and circumstance of your offenses, and your offenses were committed while on probation. You have 2 years of special parole, and I'll move to set the following additional conditions: no contact with the co-defendant Glorabel Torres Sanchez, halfway house placement, and a domestic violence program in the community. It's a continuation of the program you took inside. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, do you understand, sir?
yes, I understand.
So talk to your counselor. I'm not sure if you're halfway house approved or not, but that would be your next step, okay? And we
All
wish
right.
you the best. Good luck on special parole.
All right, thank you.
This concludes the hearing. Ramos, inmate number 433302. Mr. Younger?
Yes.
Ben, are we good to go? All
Yes, thank you.
right, Mr. Younger, we're gonna go ahead and get started with your case. Morning, my name is Officer Shamway. Today is Monday, December 30th, 2024, and this is a hearing at the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this morning by stating their names on the record, certify they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available for information in preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, sir. I'm Jennifer Giacomini.
Well, good morning, Panama Rodriguez.
And I'm Ellen Zappo Sasso.
Sir, please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Davon Younger, 376-274.
Hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Davon Younger, May number 376274. He's serving a sentence of 10 years, execution suspended after 4 years, followed by 3 years probation for criminal possession of a weapon, 4 counts failure to appear first, assault third, interfering with an officer or resisting, 2 counts larceny third, and a threatening second. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of June 17, 2024. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has completed the following programs: Voices, Tier 4, domestic violence, utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system. The offender's overall score on the SRT falls within a high range of risk for recidivism. So this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Good morning. I have written a letter.
Yeah.
Good morning. Thanks for seeing me today. I'm Mr. Younger. I'm on the road to recovery and to a new way of living. I would like to apologize to my victim and the community for the way I conducted myself. As I reflect back on my actions and decisions, I am embarrassed. In my opinion, life is about choices and decisions. At a young age, I started making very bad choices and decisions to the point my life has spiraled out of control. Up until now, I have made excuses for my choices and actions. I would say I had no guidance. I blame my neighborhood. The 32-year-old man who stands before you today, I take full accountability for my choices and decisions. I'm certain that there are countless people with similar upbringings as me that use their circumstances as fuel, inspiration, and motivation to become overachievers. I've messed up a bunch of times. Why so late in my life? I am deciding I want to change. I'm tired of living in this insanity. I want to be a better person for myself and my community. Any person who has a mouth can say they want to change. So for the last 32 months, I put an action plan behind change. I feel change starts with self-discipline and thinking patterns. I never had the slightest understanding of criminal and addictive thinking or how everything around us throughout our lives influence how I think. While being incarcerated, I have completed many programs such as domestic violence program, Voices, and the Tier 4 program. Participating in the Tier 4 program was essential in inspiring change within me. The Tier 4 program has taught me accountability, the importance of structure, discipline, importance of routine, and a positive manner of conducting oneself. The Tier 4 program is not limited only towards addiction. The program offers the tools needed to be a positive, productive member of society. For a majority of my life, I was dealing with my own addictions of profiting off other people's addictions. So it made perfect sense for me to sign up for the C-Card program. I'm open to volunteering my services in this field as a way of giving back. I'm determined to. If I was released today, I will go to many temp agencies seeking work. I will also get help from many counselors at CT Works for employment and other benefits they have to offer. I'm not closed off to working any jobs that's available to help me get started with my rehabilitation. In closing, I would like to thank the board for allowing me the opportunity to stand before you. I understand parole is a privilege and I'm grateful. I want to thank all the Tier 4 counselors for giving me the opportunity to better myself. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Younger, for your statement. We appreciate that. We have questions for you. And when we're done with our questions, we'll deliberate and give you our decision.
Okay.
We'll begin with my colleague, Ms. Zappa.
Good morning, Mr. Younger. I heard a lot of really good things in your opening statement. And so I'd just like to talk about a few things that I read when we reviewed your file. One of the things that struck me was that you had made a comment about how you had tried to stay out of trouble by being a working man, but that didn't work out. So I think that that references probably what you talked about in your statement about your upbringing and your neighborhood. But can you talk a little bit about the challenges from an employment standpoint? Because if you have 5 kids, obviously you're going to be looking for something in order to support them as you reinvent yourself. So I'm concerned about how you're going to do that based on everything I've read.
And so, like, I was working at CDI for a good point in time until an incident happened. I had got shot, so I couldn't work anymore due to like my disability. So now that I'm better, then I could work. I could get out and work and support my kids.
So who's supporting them now?
Their mothers.
Are you in touch with all of them?
I talk to the ones that can talk back to me. That's old enough to understand.
Okay. So there's 16, 14, 2 6-year-olds, and a 2-year-old?
Yes.
The tier 4 piece, has that set you up with a relapse prevention plan? And can you tell me what that's going to consist of?
In tier 4, I have a counselor. When I get out, I can contact, and he can help me like set things up that need to be done. So
Okay. So your drug and alcohol score was a 4, which is high, and it shows that you were smoking marijuana several times a day. Is that accurate?
I had to raise my drug level to get in the tier 4 program, but it was a 2 before that. And about the drug use, I smoked marijuana. That's about it.
Nothing else? No other drugs?
No, that's it.
Okay. In your reference to your counselor, is that the CCAR program that you're working with on the inside as part of tier 4? Okay.
No, CCAR is it's like a addiction counselor. So that's like a different program from CCAR. I mean from tier 4.
Okay. Is that what's going to carry you when you're released? The CCAR program, is that what you're looking to do in the community?
Yes, to be addiction counselor.
In terms of your release plan, it says that you're potentially going to live with your father, or you've requested a halfway house placement. Do you have anything firmed up at this point? Or are you still keeping the halfway house as an option?
Yeah, I'm still keeping halfway house as an option.
Okay. A few years ago, during one of your first incarcerations, there was reference to your family, and there seemed to be several family members that were either convicted or were having issues with the law, so to speak. How are you going to separate yourself upon release from some of those influences that you've already discussed as being a problem during your upbringing?
Well, upon release, I will stay busy, keep a clear mind, and I'll try to enroll in many programs to keep me out of trouble.
Questions at this time?
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to go back to your drug score, Mr. Young. You're a 4, which is pretty high, right? 5 is the highest you can go, right? And I read in your PSI that you failed a toxicology, a urine test with cocaine and marijuana. So was there a time that you were using cocaine besides just marijuana? Because that seems like a very high score to me for just marijuana.
Yeah, maybe it was mixed with the marijuana, and I had no knowing of it at the time. But I never used cocaine.
So you're not associating your drug use with any other drug but marijuana.
Yes, only marijuana.
Okay. I mean, it's good you took the program. It was good. I read some of your, evaluations in your programs. One of them was excellent. The other two were kind of on the good line. I'm not sure what happened with those. You took voices as well.
Yes.
What did you learn from that?
I learned that it's like being, let me see. I learned it's like being open and honest about everything and truthful and just like staying positive.
Well, I mean, you'll probably learn it from the other programs too. And other programs probably talked about being positive and being truthful, but more specifically, voices is about victims. What did you learn about victims in your situation?
Oh, like about the victim's feelings and like how would I feel if I was a victim of, like, if it was reversed? Like how would I feel if the situation happened to me?
What's your overall goal? What's your thinking about what do you want to accomplish when you do finally get released?
I just want to accomplish to be a homeowner, to have a business, and just support my kids.
In terms of business, what kind of business were you thinking? Because the business you were in initially was kind of illegal. So what kind of business were you thinking?
Like being a drug counselor, addiction counselor.
Have you considered, are you looking at the Recovery Academy and CCAR?
Yes, I want to use the C card to help me better other people's lives. I try to.
Chad, we get this one.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Younger, you did the CCAR program. Which part of the program did you do?
I did the 30 hours, the first half of the C card.
The Recovery Coach Academy?
Yes, I did the first half, yes.
Okay, so then the next part, what does that entail?
It's the professional.
Right. I understand it's the professional part of the academy to finalize your certification. How many hours is that?
I think it's 20 hours, I believe.
An additional 20 hours? And that's what you
Yeah.
plan to do?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you should know how many hours it is. You should probably know more about it. You better do your research. Okay, so Mr. Younger, you got an excellent evaluation from Voices, good evaluations from Tier 4 and domestic violence. I want to talk to you a little bit about domestic violence because your behavior with, I'm assuming your ex, initials, don't say her name, initials TB. Is she one of the mothers of your children?
No.
Okay, so you were dating her?
Yes.
For how long?
For 2 years.
Okay, so I mean, you treated her pretty poorly. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And I'm not going to get into what type of relationship it was or what might have provoked you or how she treated you, but your behavior, unacceptable. What did you learn about why you were physically abusive in the domestic violence program?
I feel like anger played a part. And
What are you angry about?
like certain things that she would do would like trigger some how I feel, and then like I lashed out one time, and then I felt that it wasn't right. for me to
No.
do.
Did you just say you lashed out one time?
Yes.
That's not true. I'm looking at two separate offenses, and chances are, if there's two offenses, there's more than that, two that we know of. What one time are you talking about?
That's the time when I had got arrested for the domestic violence case.
You have two domestic cases. Do you want me to spell them out for you? You don't remember?
No, I thought it
One
was,
where you punched her in the head and face and you were choking her in the car. And another one where you were sending her threatening text messages and shattered her car window. Those are two different incidents. Do you recall them?
I recall both of those incidents.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you is if we know about two, then there were more than that. So I want to know if she triggered you to a point where you were that angry and needed to do these things, why would you stay with her?
But after I got arrested for both of those charges,
Yeah,
I couldn't be around her anymore after that.
right.
Then we went our separate ways.
But how does it get to that point?
I guess that enough was enough, and I was kind of like slipping with my anger and everything that pushed her away. And it was just best for us to both just be like separated from each other.
I mean, did you witness domestic violence yourself growing up?
As grown ups, I did.
Yeah, so it's a pattern that you need to break. You have 5 children, right? You would not want them to be batterers or victims, I assume, right?
Yes.
So it's very important for you to break that cycle. You know, I mean, how do you think TB is affected by all of that?
I feel that she kind of was like upset that I would do that to her.
Well, how do you think it would affect her in the future, though?
That in the future, that she would have like trust issues with,
Right.
She'd be like more high alert with her other partners.
Yeah, or maybe even be afraid of partners in general. Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right, so you mentioned that your drug score was a 2, and it sounds like that was an appropriate score based on what you're telling us anyway. How did you get it raised to a 4?
I have with the counselor, in order for me to do the tier 4 program, I had to be a 4 or a 5.
So it was really, you pushed to have it changed just so you could get into that program?
Yes.
Which is a great program, you know, and you can always learn, of course, from that program. So why was there a weapon in your car?
Well, I had a weapon that I thought it was like cool to carry one, but
Cool.
I had no intentions of using it or anything. It was just pointless of
Well,
having.
everybody says that, right? And then their guns are used to shoot someone or maybe kill someone. Everybody says they don't intend to use it, but why have it then? Right?
True.
You have a driver's license?
No,
Have you ever had one?
no.
Why? You like to drive, so why wouldn't you just go get your license?
That's true. That's a plan I put in motion when I get out of here.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought it up. Did you make a list of goals for yourself, short term and long term?
I have a couple, but I didn't bring that paper with me. But I know a couple off the top of my head.
You did make a list while you were in the Tier 4 program? Okay, share with us a couple.
One is like to get my permit and then my license.
Yeah.
And 2 is like to volunteer in different programs as to give back. Then,
What programs? Which programs?
any program that's like,
Okay, so nothing specific in mind. Okay.
and then I will like, I don't know the rest off the top of the head right now.
Okay. All right. All right. So listen, the last time you were released, you only lasted a few months out there, right? So I just wonder if you've reflected and you know where you went wrong and how you're going to do things differently now.
Yes.
Okay. What happened?
But I got caught up hanging with the wrong people.
Okay.
I was on the straight path, and I got caught up hanging with the wrong people that led me back to incarceration.
Were they
I
old
blame-
friends?
It was old friends from the neighborhood,
Yeah.
but I blame myself for going down that path I chose to go down.
Well, yeah, you were being a follower, right? When you're supposed to be a leader, you're supposed to take these skills that you learn while incarcerated, and you're supposed to be able to leave that behind you.
That's true.
All right, so what's different? What looks different the next time you're out?
But this time, I'm gonna focus more on myself and my rehabilitation and my kids that need me the most.
Absolutely, they need a dad, yeah. How many are you in contact with now?
Just the two oldest ones.
Okay,
I talked to the youngest ones, mothers, but
okay. Yeah, they're young, they don't know what's going on, I get it. Those 6-year-olds, I'm assuming, are not twins?
no.
All right, I think it's time that you treat people better, right?
Yes.
Do better for yourself because you're a young guy. We don't want to see young guys in prison. There's so much you can do out there. We want you to go out there and give back. So I wish you the best. We're gonna deliberate. You have another question? Go ahead.
I do
Yeah.
have 2 follow-up questions. Mr. Younger, your release plan, if you were to go with your father, is Bridgeport. Is that where you grew up? Is that a place where a lot of this happened?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about how that's gonna look if you go back and you're living in Bridgeport. How are we avoiding the old friends, the old neighborhood, and that level of temptation?
Well, being back in Bridgeport, the friends I used to hang with, I don't hang with them anymore. Some of them is dead, and some of them is serving like 20 plus years and incarcerated. But as my plan is, I'm gonna stay with my dad and get to know him better and better my life, like working and staying focused staying out of the streets more and dedicating my time to my kids.
So I understand about the Tier 4 program and developing goals, but I will say that, volunteering to give back is a great goal. And I think that everybody should do something in their community because that's what we are. We're a community. But you have bigger issues in terms of employability, 5 children. I mean, I think you have to take time to focus on yourself and make sure that you're in a position to support these kids, support yourself, and stay out of all of these cycles that you found yourself in. So I just caution you that when you go back out, let's make sure that the priorities you've established are realistic in terms of what you need to do. You have 5 kids, you're going to need a place to stay eventually. I probably don't think you want to stay with your father forever, but the money piece and employment piece, identifying a career, to me, is your top priority at this point. Everything else can follow.
You all set?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, give us a few minutes to talk about your case and we're going to give you our decision shortly. Ms. Alpha?
So Mr. Younger has a high score to recidivate. He's 32 years old. This is his second conviction where he's serving greater than a year. He has 16 felony convictions and 3 community supervision failures and 2 successes. He was on probation when this offense occurred, and while incarcerated, he's received very good evaluations for the domestic violence, the Tier 4, and the Voices program, which are all risk relevant in terms of his offenses. He is on the dangerous weapons offense registry and should not have guns and will not be allowed to have guns in the future. His release plan is to live with his father in Bridgeport and establish an opportunity to find a job and support his children and be in their lives, ranging from 2 years old to 16 years old. In his opening statement, he outlined, I think, some relevant offender change issues where he's recognized the bad decisions that have spiraled him out of control and got him to where he currently is. There are some socioeconomic factors that he referenced, and he has taken accountability and is going to hopefully use the circumstances to fuel his change. I wish that his release plan was a little bit more developed at this point, and I am concerned about some of the responsivity of that was good, but is, I think, still somewhat general. I just don't know if there's anything else that he could benefit from at this point. And I'm open to hearing from my colleagues about that.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez?
Well, I'm actually, I concur with, like I said, points that she's made. I am leaning toward discretionary parole today for Mr. Younger. He's put some work in, definitely has work to do. He's connected with C-Car. I think that's an opportunity for him to really get some sponsorship on the outside. And, I'm going to be willing to do this.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I mean, while these offenses are concerning, of course, he took the initiative on his own to get into the Tier 4 program, which isn't easy to do, and complete it without getting any disciplinary, of course, while he's in there. We know that's a tough inpatient program to do. He has some insight. I think he's still young-minded, and he has to continue to work on himself. And I think a period of parole supervision would benefit him before he starts his 3 years of probation. Okay, what do you have for conditions, Ms. Zappa?
So no contact with victim TB.
Yeah.
I did have no driving without parole officer permission due to the license situation. And then I had marked off tentatively both behavior management program for anger in the community as well as DV. And I wasn't sure which one was better because with
Domestic violence, for sure.
Okay.
It's the domestic violence, yeah.
because with especially with the multiple relationships and
Mm-hmm.
various family issues, I think that would be something he should continue and would continue to benefit from.
Right. Okay.
And halfway up.
Halfway house.
Sorry, yes, and halfway house.
His dad.
If necessary.
Okay, we couldn't reach your dad, but if, you can always work that out later. We're gonna put it there in case you need it, so it doesn't hold up your release. Okay, anything else, Ms. Rodriguez? In the matter of Davon Younger, number 376274, I'll move to grant parole effective today, December 30th, 2024, with the following additional conditions. You'll parole to a halfway house if it's needed. No contact with your victim, initials TB, the domestic violence program in the community. That's a continuation of the program that you took inside. And no operation of a motor vehicle without your parole officer's permission because you need a license first. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do you have any questions, sir?
I just want to thank you for seeing me today. And
Yeah, keep working on yourself, okay? It sounds like you're beginning to change, but we wish you the best.
all right. Thank
Take
you.
care.
This concludes the hearing for Davon Younger, inmate number 376274. Morning, Mr. Herrera.
Morning.
We're gonna go ahead and get started with your case. Good morning. My name is Officer Shamrock. Today is Monday, December 30th, 2024, and this is the hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons. Following board members are present this morning by stating their names on the record. Certify they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, sir. I'm Jennifer Zaccanini.
Good morning, panel member Rodriguez.
And I'm Ellen Zappo Sasso.
Sir, please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Joshua Herrera, 403-722.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Joshua Herrera, inmate number 403-722. He's serving a sentence of 4 years for violation of probation with the underlying offense, stealing a firearm, assault second, attempted assault second, public safety or emergency medical personnel, illegal operation of motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs, and single possession of a pistol revolver. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of February 11, 2025. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It's been reviewed and shows the offender has completed the following programs: Tier 2, voices, good intentions, bad choices, domestic violence, utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system. The offender's overall score in the SRT falls within a very high range of risk for recidivism. So this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
I have a letter. If you guys give me the opportunity, I would
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to read it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I stand before you today a far different man than the one that violated my probation back in June of 2020. At that time, I was dealing with many personal issues that led to my regrettable behavior. I was in a very troubled relationship with my girlfriend, the mother of our son. I was in a difficult struggle with the disease of alcoholism, and I was burdened with the weight of being the sole financial provider for our young family. On top of all of this, we were all learning to navigate a world ravaged by the pandemic of COVID. Quite obviously, the stressors in my life were multiple and varied, and I did not do my best to cope with them. Due to the high level of tension in our relationship at that time, my girlfriend and I were involved in an unfortunate incident of domestic violence. During this shameful incident, a friend of ours who was a witness to the incident called the police. I admittedly did not react well to this circumstance. I panicked and I ran from the police. I have no excuse for doing so because acting in that manner was quite honestly inexcusable. Now today, over 4 years later, I will do my best to explain to you why I have good cause for you to grant me parole. First, it is important to note that I have recognized the error of my ways, taking responsibility for my shameful actions, and most importantly, taking concrete steps to change and ensure that such actions are never again committed. Looking back, I now can clearly see with my newly developed outlook that I placed my then girlfriend, the responding officers, and everyone else on the road in a great deal of unnecessary danger that fateful day. Words simply cannot express my remorse. For having done something so incredibly thoughtless and reckless, all I can say is that I'm sorry to everyone involved. I have also taken accountability for behavior and incident that led to that chase, and have worked diligently on becoming aware of the reasons for that behavior, and also the changes that are necessary to prevent such behaviors from being repeated. I will add today that I know full well that the programs that I have completed in prison is just the beginning of a lifelong journey. Even with all this knowledge, I still failed to understand that just because I was on the road to recovery and healing, it didn't mean the people I had victimized were in the same place, which is the only way I can describe my poor choice in trying to reach out to my child's mother. I somehow had convinced myself that if only she gave me the opportunity to express my remorse and growth, she would find it in her heart to allow me to speak with my son. I now understand and take full responsibility for my lapse in judgment and apologize for any harm or inconvenience that my actions may have caused. Despite what I may have thought, the fact of the matter was a protective order was in place for a reason, and I violated that. Please be assured that this work on growth and self-development continues to this day and will not stop going forward. I now recognize that my desire to exert control over others during times of conflict led to needless confrontation. Today, I know that I must remain focused on separating the situation from my reaction to that situation. And I can only control one of those things, and that is my reaction, not the situation. I've also worked very hard on tackling my disease of alcoholism, and I would like to expand on that now. I completed Tier 2 and Smart Recovery during my time behind prison walls. These valuable programs gave me the necessary foundation to recognize and analyze why I was, in fact, self-medicating with alcohol. That information in turn provided me with the basis for tackling these issues and ultimately overcoming them. Because of the process of those important recovery groups, I have since immersed myself in the CCAR Recovery Coach program offered at Cybulski. My recovery coach, Zoraya Pedraza, in fact, wrote me a support letter. I wasn't able to get it because my counselor was on vacation. I apologize for that, but I do have it. This vital next step in my recovery has induced changes in me that I never before imagined possible. I once could not think of life without alcohol. Now I have trouble imagining one with alcohol. I must admit, this is an incredibly liberating and proud feeling. As you know from my parole packet, I have been in the Second Chance Therapeutic Community at Cybulski for almost half a year now. This was preceded by the TRUE program at Cheshire CI. I continue to take an active role in the Second Chance community, participating in several inmate-led programs and groups every week. These programs help me to continue to develop the skills and coping mechanisms I need to go forward positively, as well as devise a solid plan for a productive reentry into society. That plan includes addressing my physical and mental health care, attending AA meetings, and securing a reliable sponsor, working closely with Zoraya on the CCAR track, securing proper identification and my driver's license, rebuilding my family relationships, finding full-time employment, and most importantly, being a good father and excellent role model for my son, Jeremiah. I also have Angelica on my corner, who's my case manager. She's been assigned to me by a transitional case management associated with the Wheeler Clinic in New Britain, which will assist greatly in my successful transition out of prison. All of this is laid out in greater detail in my reentry plan, which has been submitted in my parole packet. I would like to note that with regard to my future employment opportunities, I have taken the initiative in prison to undergo OSHA training, securing my OSHA 10 certification, and also complete a surf-safe training up to a managerial level. These important steps will only serve to expand my avenues of opportunity upon my release. I am bound and determined to leave no stone unturned in my efforts to rebuild my life. Lastly, I feel it is important to state that there is one final way to illustrate the changes I have undergone in my time in prison. When I first entered prison, I received multiple tickets for issues of poor behavior. But since I made the decision to change and grow up, I am proud to say that I have not received any disciplinary actions in almost 2 years. DOC staff recognized this positive change in me, or they never would have accepted me into the TRUE program and Second Chance program. Given all of this, dear panel, the good cause outlined, through my acceptance of responsibility, my work and rehabilitation, my good behavior and my support and plan for a successful reentry, I'm respectfully requesting that the board grants me parole today, allowing me to return to society, the new man I have worked so hard to grow into. Thank you for your time and consideration today, and please know that no matter what decision you make, I will not be deterred from my new path of working each and every day to become a better me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. That was a great opening statement. You gave us a lot of information. We appreciate you putting that together. We're going to ask you some questions now. When we're done with our questions, we'll deliberate and give you our decision.
You've asked a lot of my questions in your opening statement. Mr. Herrera, I wasn't expecting such a wonderfully written opening statement. And I'm glad to hear that, that the insights that you have received in all the programs that you've taken, and you've taken quite a bit of programs still are actively involved in some of your programming, which is really really good to see. I mean, considering also reading your background, I mean, you've really created some real messes, right? This is not the first time you were arrested for stealing a firearm. I mean, you are really a true menace to the community. It sounds as if you've really turned some things around for yourself. I'm really truly hoping that you continue along that path, because it seems to have woken you up from whatever you were in. And I'm assuming part of that was your alcoholism, was your drinking. It really created a lot of these issues, but you really your release plan is pretty strong, it sounds like. to me from what I've heard. Sounds like you got some really good support on the outside. I really don't have a whole lot of questions because you've answered a lot of what I wanted to ask you. And I'm sharing my concerns with you. My concern was your prior arrests, which were very, very significant. The DV of this particular case, which was horrendous, what you ended up doing, your actions were really, really terrible in this. But it sounds as if you've kind of gotten some reflection and some insight into what drove some of that. I'm really hoping for your case that's the case, that you've really, kind of manned up in all of this, right? Because you just can't go through life, hitting people, especially hitting women, right? So I don't really have a whole lot of
Thank
questions.
you, Mr. Rodriguez. Thank you. So are you still with, don't use her name, please, but initials AR?
No,
Okay, so the plan is not to be together. So
No.
is there still, the protective order is until 33. How do you plan to have contact with your son? How did you work that out in the past?
as of right now, even while being incarcerated, I've tried to open up legal matters, family legal courts, and they actually told me to wait till I get out there. The judge didn't want to grant me visitation while I'm here. So
Okay.
my plan is to just go straight to court and
Perfect.
deal with it that way.
Okay. Is your family in contact with your son?
Sadly to say no.
Okay. All right. So you did the domestic violence program, as my colleague mentioned. Your domestic violence offense, it was concerning. Were you drunk at the time?
I definitely was.
And I mean, what led to this?
So like I
Incident.
said, like I was saying in my letter, so it was a toxic behavior. I had a problem with control. I felt like I had to be in control. I felt like if I wasn't in control and I felt like I was losing control, I had to get handsy. And that's
Okay. Wow, that's very insightful. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So did you learn in the domestic violence program how to handle those situations or emotions differently?
Absolutely. I learned how to, now if I'm in an argument with a different spouse, it's good to give space. Back then, I didn't know what space meant. I was too busy of being in control. If we were arguing, you stay right here until I feel like we're good. It's not you leaving, but now in domestic, I learned that it's better off to, you go your way until we cool down and then we could talk about it better.
Okay. I like that. Are you in a relationship now?
I'm not.
Okay. The weapon, why did you fire it out of the car?
The weapon, again, it was a control thing. I had in the past problem with control. And I felt like when my friend had told me what she had told me, it was like I had to take control of it because I didn't want to look like a wimp or whatever the case. If you understand where I was going with it, like I felt like, all right, let me do this so it looks like I'm a man and not a wimp.
Oh, it's act like a tough guy, right?
Right.
Okay. Oh, all right. I mean, you've taken some good programs. They're all this year. What did you do in 22 and 23?
So in 22 and 23, I was actually waiting to get sentenced. So I'm not sure if you guys know, but before you're sentenced, when you're like the county and stuff, it's hard to program.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got sentenced, I went straight into the TRUE program. I didn't waste no time.
Right.
Got that. I actually left the TRUE program in good. My captain actually told me, I think you should go to Second Chance because you could possibly get work furlough since you're leaving soon. So that's why I ended up going.
So you left Cheshire and transferred for possible work furloughs.
Right.
Okay. That is interesting. Yeah, I don't know too much about the work furloughs. Are you working now?
I'm actually just a tearman here and there volunteering.
Yeah. Oh, it's volunteer. Okay.
Yeah, there's a little process for the work furlough. So
Okay. Why did you waive parole?
I ended up waiving parole because I thought I was going to go to the halfway house instead. I didn't think I had a sponsor or whatever. So I was like, I'll just waive parole.
Okay. And then when your mom agreed to be your sponsor, that's when you decided to unwaive?
Yeah.
Okay. Why wouldn't she have sponsored you in the past?
At the time, I wasn't really talking to her.
Okay.
I was worried about getting this out the way. I felt like I let her down by coming back in.
Yeah.
So it was like I was embarrassed more than anything to even talk to her.
Okay. But she supported you in the past, right?
She definitely has supported me, yes.
Yeah, yeah. All right, the disciplinary reports were concerning. You got 5, you know, I'm glad that after you were sentenced, they dropped off, but what was the problem? Why were you getting so many?
With my fighting thing, one of the fights was actually a bad fight, like it was more than one people. That fight, the first fighting ticket that I caught, I believe that was in October.
Yeah,
That fight, I felt like I had to be loyal to a friend.
okay.
So the problem wasn't even mine, and I just.
Yeah, that's
Got
a
it.
bad habit. That's it to, you know, because you do something like that on the outside and it could really cost you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, and then what about the one in well, a few months later, in January?
In January, gambling. I had a problem with playing card games. So
Okay.
here I am playing card games. I'm actually winning. The guy wasn't liking that I was winning him, and we ended up fighting over
Okay.
stupidity.
You still play cards?
I don't. I do not play cards anymore.
Probably a good idea.
That's
Yeah.
what's kept me disciplinary free. I'm tired. I don't play cards.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right, so you have a possible job at a car rental place with one of your friends,
Yes.
but you don't have a license. How are you gonna drive the cars?
No. I'm not gonna drive it. Just he
Okay.
said I could help him like clean the cars, wash them out, and stuff like that.
Okay. Why didn't you ever go get your license?
So it's funny you asked. When I first came in, I was working on that, but
Okay.
then I ended up coming in, so I didn't get to complete that. But since I've been in here, I actually have the whole driver's license manual that I've been studying.
Oh,
And
good.
I actually, when I got sentenced, I believe, well, I got my license suspended. So I had to pay the restoration fee. I actually paid that about 3 weeks ago. So
Yep.
now I'm just waiting. So when I know I'm close enough, I'm going to set a date immediately for my permit.
Yeah. That test is hard. Study that manual. It's 60 pages
Yes.
long. I studied
I've
with
been
my
studying
kids.
for about a year.
It's hard. It's not like when we took it years ago. It is hard. Okay. All right. And I'm glad you have a plan for relapse prevention because the alcohol was a major problem for you.
Yes.
But your case manager at Angelica at TCM, have you worked with her in the past?
No, I haven't, but it's crazy because when I met her here, I knew she looked familiar. I have worked in Wheeler Clinic prior to like probation with others, and I definitely seen her in the facility.
Okay.
But, I just would like to state that before coming into this incarceration, I really never could admit that I had a problem with alcoholism. So
Yeah.
coming into this incarceration and actually doing the intensive programming I've been doing and really wanting to change, it's really giving me an opportunity to actually be like, you know what, I did have a problem with alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I did it, I never in my life admitted to it. Even when I used to go to probation prior, I would never, do you drink? No, I just smoke weed. But I did drink because I never admitted it. And now it's like, you know what, I did have a problem with it. It's time that I fix it.
That's good. You're doing all the things that are going to make you a good father for your son,
Appreciate you so much.
Yeah. All right, Ms. Zappo?
I don't have much, you're 26 years old and, we see a lot of people here that I think tell us what we want to hear, but I really think that you've taken this incarceration and have really thought about your life and it shows through in your comments. And I hope that when you move from what is a very structured environment back into the community, that you take these lessons with you, because I think that you have the potential of being very successful if you stick to what you've learned. So I have good luck to you.
Thank you so
That's all I have.
much.
Thank you. All right, so give us a few minutes to deliberate and we'll give you our decision.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Herrera started out with an amazing opening statement. And I think it reflected, to me at least, hearing it, his insights that he's gained from the program,
Yeah.
which we don't hear very often, but he really connected each piece for every program that he took. And I hope that he keeps his opening statement and continues to read it while he's outside so he can
Yeah.
remember those things. So his programming for me was very, very positive. He's got a sponsor. He's worked out his relapse prevention plan, which I think is also sounds very solid to me, and appears very solid. And he appears to be headed in a very positive direction. He seems to have a grip on, what causes his triggers to kind of act out when he acts out. And I'm hoping that, keep that statement, read that letter that you sent to us as well. So that was an in-depth piece that also shared all that information. And so I would be voting to the discretionary parole today.
Agreed, Ms. Apple?
Agreed, and I think you would benefit from the period of supervision since it's a flat sentence.
Exactly. Mr. Rodriguez, what do you have for conditions?
I had, obviously no contact with victim AR.
Yeah.
And he does have a protective order to 2033.
Right.
No contact with his co-defendant, Wally Little.
Yeah.
Julio Martinez.
Yeah.
And Nyasia Morales.
Yeah.
I had behavior management, domestic violence.
Yeah.
Develop on the outside. I mean, we can put a halfway house just in case, but
Nah.
it's not like he gets a sponsor.
Yeah. Okay. I'd add no alcohol and no driving.
Yeah.
Anything else? No. All right. Okay. In the matter of Joshua Herrera, inmate number 403722, I'll move to grant parole effective February 11th, 2025 with the following additional conditions. No contact with your victim AR without your parole officer's permission. You won't get that for a while unless something happens with the protective order, but because you have a child together. No contact with co-defendants, Nyasia Morales, Wally Little, or Julio Martinez. No alcohol consumption. Domestic violence program in the community. It's a continuation of the work you did on the inside. And no driving without your parole officer's permission. You have to get a license first. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, you've done great work, Mr. Herrera. We certainly hope you'll continue to work on yourself, and we wish you the best.
Yeah, keep that up.
so
Keep that
much.
up. Keep
All
it
right.
up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a blessed day.
You too.
This concludes the hearing for Joshua Herrera, inmate number 403722.
Yeah.
Morning, Mr. Barnes.
Good morning.
We're gonna go ahead and get started with your case.
Yes,
Morning.
sir.
Officer Schimmer, today is Monday, December 30th, 2024, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. Following board members are present this morning, and by stating their names on the record, certify they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information for preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, sir. I'm Jennifer Zaccagnini.
Good morning, panel member Rodriguez.
And I'm Ellen Zappo Sasso.
Sir, please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Jeffrey Barnes,
Inmate number, please.
306384.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Jeffrey Barnes, inmate number 306384. He is serving a sentence of 6 years, execution suspended after 2.5 years, followed by 2 years probation for 2 counts sale of narcotic substance and illegal operation of motor vehicle on alcohol drug. As of today, records reflect parole eligibility date of February 14, 2025. There is no victim reported in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed, shows the offender has completed the following programs: domestic violence, tier 2, voices, and currently has a janitor job. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score on the SRT falls within the very high range of risk for recidivism. So this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Can I read this letter, please?
Sure
first?
can. Thank you.
Board members, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. For I know full well that parole is a privilege. Appearing before this esteemed board is my opportunity to show you, as well as tell you, how I have grown into the man who warrant such a privilege. It is vital that I apologize to my victims, as I now recognize that there are no victimless crimes. By selling drugs, I negatively impacted a broad range of victims, the users who were held down the wrong path by my regrettable actions, their families and loved ones who were subjected to the demise of someone who they cared deeply, our community, which was in effect poisoned by my selfish behavior, my family who expected so much from me, so much more from me, rightfully so, and society as a whole, which I should be contributing to instead of destroying and distracting from. I am now 39 years old. When I return to prison this time, I can only sum up my thoughts with these 3 words: enough is enough. Something needed to change, and that something was the man looking back at me in the mirror. I made a conscious decision to take the concrete steps necessary to ensure that I would leave prison
a different person and a better man than when I walked in. I am doing this by actively engaging in the rehabilitative opportunities presented to me by the DOC. I have elected to be housed in the Enough Embracing Opportunities, Upholding Good Habits Second Chance program here at Cybulski. In addition to various programs offered within the privileged dorm, I have also completed the following facility-wide programs: domestic violence education, Tier 2 addiction services, and Voices, an extremely important victim awareness program. The domestic violence group taught me that it is never all right to use abusive tactics to exert control or gain the upper hand in a relationship. I learned that a relationship is something to be shared and not something to be won. I gained valuable insight into what defines a healthy relationship and what part I need to play in nurturing a healthy relationship. I also now know that words are powerful and must be chosen carefully, that emotional scars very often do far more damage and leave a more lasting impact than physical ones. Most importantly, I learned that being a real man involves being sensitive, empathetic, and understanding as much as anything else. Tier 2 led me on a path to recovery. This valuable program showed me that my substance abuse was just the tip of the iceberg, and everything that lay below the tip was what I really needed to work on. In order to understand why I was self-medicating, and also to begin to heal myself and overcome those character defects that led me to an addictive lifestyle, I learned to open up, to ask for help, and most importantly, to listen. To really listen to those who have been where I was and are now where I wish to be. It has truly changed my life in huge ways and for the better. Voices was where I was introduced to the simple truth that I noted earlier, that there are no such things as victimless crimes. It illustrated to me that my actions are like throwing a rock in a pond, and the ripple cause each reach out far and wide, touching many, which what I learned in this absolutely necessary curriculum. I now go forward more cognizant of others, of how my decisions affect more than just myself, and how that interconnectedness must be taken into account before I make my choice. These programs help me to begin build a foundation I need to realize that all-important goal of personal growth and development. I will continue to expand on that foundation upon my release through the regular attendance of recovery meetings, finding a sponsor and maintaining weekly sessions with a therapist. I will leave no stone unturned in my pursuit of a positive, productive lifestyle. I have also worked a daily job while incarcerated. I am currently working in a Cybulski school, cleaning the classroom, library, and restrooms, as well as watering plants in the library. This has improved my work ethic and given me confidence and ambition to not only attain full-time employment on the outside, but to take a great deal of pride in my work. I'm also putting together a business plan to enact upon my release, which I will start Darby and in operation. Last but certainly not least, I have a strong foundation system, most notably my sister, who is my mentor, advisor, and biggest cheerleader. She is a strong, successful woman who will not hesitate to tell me if I'm not doing my best, and she will hold me accountable at every turn. I am immeasurably lucky to have her in my life. I can assure that I have, at long last, taken the corrections part of the Department of Corrections very seriously. I had altered the way I think and feel, thereby improving the manner in which I act and behave. Should this panel see fit to grant me parole, it will be a decision that I will never give you reason to regret. And no matter what you decide, my chosen path of redemption and rehabilitation will not be altered no matter what. I will not be deterred from becoming the man that I know I can be. Thank you for your time and consideration in this manner.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes. That's a great opening statement. You gave us a lot of information. How long did you work on that?
I had help.
Yeah.
And it was by an educated person, and he had told me like this dude, I don't know how to word things like right.
Yeah.
So he just helped me word it, and I said it with my mind, but
right.
The way he
Very nice.
told me, so I'm like, it was a lot of crumpled papers. I'll just tell you that.
That's
was a
good.
lot of crumpled papers.
Okay. It's good to work at things, and then the end result is something you can keep and reflect back on, right?
But the perfection, I think the letter is that it took me months. It took me months.
Yeah. Good. All right. Mr. Barnes, we're going to ask you questions, and when we're done with our questions, we'll deliberate and give you our decision.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Before I forget, you mentioned a business plan. What's the business?
Dog breeding.
Oh, dog breeding. Okay.
Dog breeding.
Okay.
dog-
Do you have
that's-
any experience with that?
I done raised dogs. My
Okay.
mother done kept dogs. My sister, father done kept dogs in my life. So like I'm a dog lover, and
Yeah.
I know of a lot of dog lovers. And why not do something I love?
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right.
experience, no, but willing
Yeah.
to learn. My apologies. Yes.
No, that's great. Yeah. Okay. The second chance unit, we understand, has a lot of smaller programs within. Can you tell us about a few of them?
I did Rage,
Yeah.
Pawns with Kings. It's just
Kings,
touch
did you
base-
say?
I said Rage, Pawn the Kings. It's just
What's that? Pawn the Kings.
like men figuring out ways. It's like a chess game, figuring out ways to strategize your life and what you do, who you deal with, and they all, what's the word? They all coincide with each other.
Okay.
If you get what I'm saying, like just figure out what you want to do, like how you can strategically move in life and
Right.
deal with different circumstances and whatnot. So
Nice. How often do you meet in this second chance program?
once a week for Rage.
Okay.
It's 8 weeks, so every program once a week.
Okay. And what about as a unit? Do you have meetings within, like daily meetings or no?
No, like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. No, my apologies. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we come together in the morning.
Right.
And if we have any issues, we can state the issues we have and try to deal with them.
Right.
So, but that's
Okay.
3 days, that's 3 times out the week.
Nice. All right. So listen, you said yourself that you were selfish, right? You're selling drugs because you like the money, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. So I'm sure you know, I don't have to tell you, you're not going to make that kind of money working a legit job, but you're also not going to be in prison.
Yeah, that's freaking. And can I tell you, I've been working for 9 months, making pennies,
Right.
and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Haven't been times I'm like, man, I'm done, but I ain't give up. I've been giving up my whole life. I
Yeah.
never gave myself a chance, so I stuck with it, and I've been 9 months.
And
I
you
love
should
it.
take pride in how well the classroom looks, right? You look
Yeah.
at it when things are shining, it's because of you.
When they come in and say it smells so good in here, I say, yeah, I did that. That's this guy. So
Yeah,
it
that's
just
great.
it just I'm giving myself a chance.
Yeah.
Like this year, I know it's not a long time, but it's long for me because of the path I took to come to where I'm at now. It felt great.
Right.
It felt great. I feel good.
Well, I mean, you sound great, and it's amazing that, you know, you've been using PCP for a long time. You know what that stuff does to your brain. I'm sure you learned about that.
I feel like crying right now because I forget. Like, just say something can happen 20 minutes ago. They be like, you just did this. I'm like, you sure? And it's hurtful. But I'm not. I've seen worse, but I'm still here.
Right.
And it's scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
No, that
That's
is
why-
scary. But
that's
now
why
you
I
have
took-
this clean time, right? Like you said, you're building a foundation. And from here, the sky's the limit. You can use your brain, you know, keep working at it. And you've done so much, you know, while you're incarcerated. You can continue to do more when you're released. Does your sister still own the liquor store?
Yes. But that's the thing. I don't know if I could work there if I do get granted parole. By the grace of God, I do. But she will open arms. You get what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know. I don't know if parole let me work there due to it being a liquor store.
Was
or-
alcohol an issue for you?
No. PCP.
PCP, yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. You have a good relapse prevention plan. I think it's a great idea to go to meetings, get a sponsor, get into therapy. So I'm glad you're working at that. You know, you have failed at all community releases in the past. And I never understand that because they're there to help you, right? When you go out on probation, parole, whatever it is, their sole job is to help you succeed. So you have to lean on them as a support. If you feel like you're going to relapse or you need help, you're depressed, whatever, you have to call them and just be open and honest like you are here with us today. That's your time to get the services and the support that you need. So did you have a driver's license at the time when this is your DUI?
Yes, I called a few weeks back and it's suspended because I got to get the breathalyzer. What boggles my brain because it was PCP because of DUI,
Right,
but it got suspended when I copped out to the DUI.
right.
I had it prior to that, but as soon as I pled guilty to the DUI, they suspended my license. So that's
Okay.
another thing I got to work on getting when I get home. First get a job, then get a vehicle, put the breathalyzer machine in my vehicle, and get my license back.
Okay. Well, you have, let's see, 5 kids to take care of out there?
6, and I just had a grandson 2 days ago.
Right, but one of them's an adult, right? So.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they all need you, right? Yeah, and now
Yes,
a
ma'am.
grandchild. So that should be motivation. You want to be a good dad and set a good example for all of your younger ones. Do you talk to the oldest one?
Yes, I talk to her not every day. I give her a little time so we don't run out of things to say, but I call her probably like 4 or 5 times a week.
Nice. Okay,
So
good.
that's my baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's my baby.
So listen, Mr. Barnes, you're very high risk for us. You understand that. Just given
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
the
ma'am.
offenses and your history. It's pretty bad, but you're doing so well. And I really do have faith that you can turn all of this around and do positive things in the community in the future. All right, Ms. Zappo?
I agree. I enjoyed listening to you outline what's been happening. And obviously, when we look back on your record, what resonated with me is that all of your kids probably only know the you from before incarceration. So this is a big motivation, as my colleague said, for you to finally have this treatment, this mindset, have everything click. And I read through some of the police reports, and one of them was 142 bags of heroin. Another one was 463 bags. Like, where do you get that amount of drugs? Like, were you working within a network, and how are you going to sever those types of relationships? Are those a risk factor for you? Those people and places and things going back out?
It was because like going back to my neighborhood triggers. It triggers my mind. It ain't even my mind. It's like a satisfactory feeling that comes within my body that goes through my body. And no, I wasn't with a network. I just knew somebody that had a lot of drugs. And it was like, I need this. I need this. And it's like I say here, I have nothing. Everybody go $100 deep. Everybody with the same ground. So settling, I settled as soon as I came in this door. I settled. So it's looking good. I'm good. I was wearing the teens for a year. I'm tired, miss. Tired. And to answer your questions, I deal with like-minded people. I deal with like-minded individuals. So if I can't build with you and grow from you, there's no need for me to be around you. There's no need.
So in terms of your release plan and having your sister as a mentor, you're going back to Hartford, where you apparently have your own residence. So where are all of those people and those things that could potentially be triggers for you?
That is on another side of town. That
Okay.
where I live is nowhere close to where I be.
Okay.
Nowhere close to where I be. So
Have you been in contact?
Nah.
Okay. Have they tried to be in contact with you?
Friends, my friend is in prison. That's the only friend I got other than my kids and my sister. So I don't reach out. If they reach out, I won't respond. Not saying they have. Like, I don't, what do we have? I'm all right. I'm healthy. I'm sober. I'm focused. Hungry for success. I'm all right with the people that I have in my life right now. They mean me well.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
meant to ask you, who's paying for your place while you're incarcerated?
My sister.
Nice.
My sister.
All right, Mr.
Thank
Rodriguez?
you, Madam Chair. I will also agree. The statement that you presented was excellent. You sound very, very good today. One thing you said that, and I hear that your sister's, your kind of a accountability support system, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
she holds your feet to the fire, but you need to be able to do that for yourself. you need to hold yourself accountable. The system may not be around forever. Maybe decide to move somewhere, change your life, do something else. Who knows? So you need to hold yourself accountable for the things that you do.
Yes,
That's
sir.
one thing I would tell you. Keep that statement that you wrote. Would you read it? You know, remind yourself, you know, where you went ahead, because outside, bad. Right now it's tough outside. You got a tough road to go. You need to be strong. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, listen, I don't have any questions, actually. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Mr. Barnes has put in a lot of work and
Yes.
it doesn't sound like it's easy for him to do that either. And he's been working a solid job for, I don't know, I forgot how long he said, but it's
9 months.
been 9 months. Thank you. He has a good release plan. He has a place to go home to and support of his sister, kids to take care of. No disciplinary reports. You know, of course, we'd have conditions for him. He's got to work on getting his license back. But I think he really is changing. I hear the change. I hear the insight. I think he's a new man. So, despite the very high risk, I would be willing to give him an opportunity at parole until he starts his 2 years of probation. Ms. Zappo?
I agree.
Mr.
I'm
Rodriguez?
also in agreement. Yeah.
Okay, so for conditions, I have no driving without the parole officer's permission because he has to restore his license and a domestic violence program in the community. Anything further?
I had mental health evaluation. I don't know why, but
I don't know. Did you see something specific that you wanted to address?
I could go with that.
I think it was based on some of
Said
the,
that he's forgetful moments.
yeah, and some previous diagnoses.
Yeah, I think I would go with that.
I mean, I think it could only be a
I think I only could help.
Well, he's a
Any
2.
help
I
is
mean, I'm sorry?
Any help is better than no help.
All right. Well, yeah. It just we don't like to jam them up if they don't
do
need it and then they don't comply. But anyway, but yeah, okay. In the matter of Jeffrey Barnes, inmate number 306384, I'll move to grant parole effective February 14th, 2025. That's your eligibility date, with the following conditions. No operation of a motor vehicle without your parole officer's permission. You'll get all that squared away. Domestic violence program in the community. That's a continuation of the program that you did inside. And a mental health evaluation and treatment if they deem it necessary. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, do you have any questions, sir? I'm a fast talker.
I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
We want to hear about all of the good things you're
Right.
doing in the community.
Right.
So go out there and do good things.
That's the way you show us your appreciation.
All right?
So
Good
how
luck,
can
sir.
how can I let you know?
Well, no, we
not
see.
coming back
Don't
here.
worry.
We don't see
You're
you
going to be
back
on
here
parole. Don't come back here. And
Y'all
we'll
have
see.
y'all have a
Good luck.
Y'all have a blessed one.
You too. All right, so then,
This concludes the hearing for Jeffrey Barnes, inmate number 3063. Morning, Mr. Steele.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
Good. We're going to go ahead and get started with your case.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Officer Shamroy. Today is Monday, December 30th, 2024, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this morning by stating their names on the record, certify they have reviewed all statutory required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
good morning, sir. I'm Jennifer Zaccanini.
Good morning, panel member Rodriguez.
And I'm Ellen Zappo Sasso.
Sir, please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Travis Steele, 352582.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Travis Steele, inmate number 352582. He is serving a sentence of 4 years for burglary third, violation of probation, the underlying offense burglary third, violation of probation, the underlying offense stealing firearm, burglary third, a violation of probation with the underlying offense burglary third, a violation of probation, underlying offense burglary third, failure to appear first, and a violation of probation for sale of illicit narcotics. As of today, records reflect a poll eligibility date of November 4th, 2024. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed, shows the offender has completed the following programs: good intentions, bad choices. Tier 2, currently has a janitor job. Utilizing statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall scoring SRT falls within a very high range of risk for recidivism. Sir, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay. I'd like to start by saying that, first, my drug addiction has led me to, make poor choices in the past, which obviously you can see by my history. I've made it a very, important effort on my behalf to correct those, bad, choices in my lifestyle. From substance abuse, the criminal lifestyle itself. Sorry, I'm nervous, heart's pounding. So I can't express it enough to say that I'm trying to do the best that I can to make a better life for myself. I'm a 35-year-old man with nothing to show for it. And it's quite embarrassing. It's humbling also. It definitely has made me think, on how to be a better person. Not only just helping myself, but helping others. Not being able to be there for my family has been the worst part. By far, my father, he was like my best friend. And he passed away when I was in a drug rehab. It was life changing. Instead of changing, to like doing drugs and stuff, I had actually started to go to college to better my life. Unfortunately, that didn't work out as well in my favor. But just seeing my father in that nursing home and knowing that I couldn't be there for him was horrible. The people at the rehab actually let me go see him. They brought me there. And just seeing him, he was, skin and bones. He was dying from cirrhosis of the liver. He had cancer. So those two things, it was from drinking alcohol when he was younger. And, seeing him like that, it broke my heart. It really broke me down, but it also made me realize that I need to be a better person. So I don't, have that same thing happen to my mother. My mother is elderly, and she's, not doing well. She has, I think it's osteoporosis, I believe. It's it's a bone disease.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I've been trying to change everything. My personal development, my spiritual, and body, mind, body, soul, really. I've done multiple programs in Cybulski. I've made Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous major priority in my recovery. I try to make, every day I wake up, I read a little bit of the Bible, and I try to read, Just for Today, which is a NA-based, book. It has the dates in there for every day, so I try to stay with that. I facilitate 2 of the Narcotics Anonymous groups in the Second Chance program. One's on Thursday night and one's on Saturday morning. I also keep up with the NA and AA groups that are in the Chow Hall here. It's H&I meetings where a speaker comes in and they tell their life story. That stuff, it keeps me like very, encouraged to do better, just because I see them, how amazing their life is. The stories they tell, it's just, it shows me that I can do it. And I've been, very focused on that. I watch, motivational stuff on the podcast. I read books that are, all about personal development, finances. And I'm just really trying to do the best that I can with this time that I have here to be a better person.
Nice.
I've also started a group. It's actually in the process. They had some, difficulties with the staff. The the dorm manager, or I think that's what you would call it. They haven't, one left. And then they just got a new one recently. So I've been trying to start this group, another group I want to facilitate for helping people that are just leaving jail for reentry purposes, like getting basic needs, insurance, healthcare provider, housing, all different things. I have a curriculum that I made out.
Wow. What's the name of that program?
First Days Out.
First Days Out?
Yes.
Okay.
So pretty much it makes like an individualized plan for people that want to volunteer and come to the group. Some people have too much pride though. They don't want to ask for help. They try to act like they're too good or whatever. So sometimes I'll work with these people individualized. Like by themselves. They'll come up to me afterwards and ask me about this or that. And that's actually how the group got started, because I had just working with TCM and getting resources from Counselor Saylor. It inspired me to start a group, and help people. Helping people is a major part of what I want to do. I'm going to go back to my father there. For him, he didn't want to die in a nursing home, and he ended up that he did. And the way that I seen him in that hospital bed, it just tore me apart. So an unfortunate event happened. His hip, he broke his hip. I had some friends that had taken him in when I went to jail in the program. I got a JRI bed. That's how the program happened. But so he went to the nursing home and nobody knew he was there from the family. So when I went in there that day, nobody had seen him for at least 2 or 3 weeks, and it was neglect. He had like sores on his arms. His teeth were all caked with food. He stunk. It was horrible. It really was. But the best thing about it, his mind wasn't right. Okay, so I would call him every day, on the phone, and he would talk to me. That one day that I called him, it was probably the 3rd or 4th day that I was in the program, and he started talking nonsense. He wasn't making sense. I don't know if it was the medication he was on or the cirrhosis of the liver, but it tore me apart, just knowing that I wasn't gonna have another conversation with him again. And for like one of my goals in life is to try to go to nursing homes. I don't know if this is gonna, I have no idea, I have no information on it, but I want to make a nonprofit organization in his behalf and be able to go into nursing homes and help people, that don't have anyone, even just to, pray for them for a second, or, say, hi, how are you doing today? Just to check up on people and, make sure that they're not being neglected. That's just an idea, one of my ideas. I have a lot of, business ideas in my head, that I have stuff written down. I plan on owning a few businesses in my life. And I strive every day to be successful. I guarantee you that I will own a business within the next 5 years. I will be a successful person. So I was talking to the guys before we came in here. I just gave them a little bit of a motivational speech, kind of say, I guess it would. So it was so I'm gonna say it, I guess. All right. So the king of the jungle is the lion, right? Do you know why? First off, he's not the biggest, right? The biggest is the elephant. He's not the fastest. The cheetah is the fastest. The lion is the king of the jungle because of his mindset. The way that he strives to get to be the best person. He has that pride, that confidence. So say a gazelle, a gazelle, is running for his life, from the lion, in his head it's saying, if I get away, I'll survive for one more day. But the lion says, if I get that gazelle, I'll be able to eat for one more day. The difference between the two is that the lion will take the last breath, the last everything he has to get to that gazelle. And I feel like that's, a good way for me to, explain how I've been, trying to work my hardest to be a better person. I'm gonna stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Steele. You did a good job with your opening statement. We appreciate all the information. We're going to ask you some questions, okay? And then we'll deliberate and give you our decision. We'll begin with my colleague, Ms. Zappo.
Mr. Steele, thank you for everything that you've offered, but I think it would be important for me for you to spend just a little bit of time taking us back to when you were 15 and you started drinking, and then you progressed. And at one point in one of the reports I read, you were doing 30 to 40 bags a day of heroin or fentanyl, drinking a sleeve of nips. And then there was the Percocet issue, I think, either at 19 or in your 20s. Can you just give us a synopsis of what that causation looked like? Where were you in your life that all of a sudden all of this substance use became an issue?
Okay, so starting at 15, I would say drinking pretty much would be to be cool, I guess, to be hang out with the cool guys, quote unquote. I also had anger issues at that age, 15. I was going to counseling at United Services in Davon, Connecticut. So that progressed. I was on Klonopins, I believe. And drinking with those it was like a blackout, you know what I mean? I really don't remember most of the, those days. I've, had girlfriends that, stressful relationships, I guess you would say, toxic relationships. And that actually followed me throughout a lot of my substance abuse, was the toxic relationships. And most of it was my fault too. I'm not going to say that it was, just the female's fault, because I take full accountability for my actions. But so that drinking at 15 and the pills led to Vicodin pills, which led to Percocets. And that all ranged from up till 19, I would say. 21, I believe, is when I changed from the pills, Percocets, to heroin. And then heroin, that I started, a bag a day or half a bag a day. And then that started going up to, as I was getting older, like I said, 25, 27, about 30 to 40 bags of heroin a day. And then that's when I got arrested. I was, I had the burglaries that you guys, talk about, the stealing the firearm, the sales charges, just to support my habit. It was, I was doing a lot, and that's when the fentanyl came around. When I got out of jail, I was doing good for a while. I had a job and stuff. I wasn't, in the right state of mind. I didn't, take care of my mental health issues. And that just progressed everything. I still was drinking at that time. And then the fentanyl and smoking crack, I was smoking crack as well. And same thing, I've had, girlfriends within this whole, different girlfriends within this whole time period. Does that answer your question?
No, it does. Honestly, I think you're lucky to be alive at this point.
Yes, absolutely. I was thinking, I was in the Voices group the other day, and they were showing car accidents oh my God, it was crazy. And I was going back in my head thinking about all the car accidents that I've been in, all the cars that I've totaled, all the times. I never OD'd. I did wake up a couple times. I actually woke up standing up a couple times, like, what the heck just happened, and it's crazy. The scariest thing for me was the crack, I believe. My heart, pounding just crazy. Like, I felt like it was gonna pop out of my chest. I don't know what. I think it was the mixture of the drugs, bringing, because one was a downer, one was an upper, so I was trying to like even it out. Same thing with the Klonopins, benzos. I was taking those as well as drinking. And I was on methadone too for a decent part of that time, about 1.5 years, 2 years, I believe. But I was getting high and doing the methadone at the same time. That alone could have easily killed me. But yes, I'm very, very grateful to be alive. And I see people dying all the time from overdoses. It's ridiculous how many chances and miracles that I've survived, that's it.
So when you were incarcerated the first time in 2017, you said that you had a period following that incarceration upon release that you were doing well. What did that look like for you?
I had 2 jobs. I was actually living with my sister at the time. That's when I just got out of jail. I was on parole. I was doing very well on parole. Yeah, 2 jobs, 2 cars. I was delivering pizza. The girl I was with, she was actually delivering pizza with me on one of the jobs. But in the mornings, I would do masonry work. And then in the wintertime, we would do firewood, split firewood.
Okay, and what happened? How did you get off course at that point?
So the girl that I was talking to, I seen her nodding out, and I said, "Let me get some." And that's all that took. That was it. Yeah, and it was off to the races again.
So, and I think, the question in my mind is, how do I know that it's going to be different this time? Because your suitability based on your statements seems to be there, but we also weigh public risk, public safety issues. And, you have quite the list of things. Why didn't you go to meetings before or have, a plan?
I guess I wasn't serious about it. I know my PO used to ask me, the same thing. Why don't I go to meetings? And there was one literally on the other side of the house that I was living at in the church. And I just made excuses. I wasn't ready. To be honest, that's my answer. I really wasn't ready. Plus, now my choices are, to stay away from that area, people, places, and things. Certain friends that I have in that area, certain places that I go are triggers for me. Just going into a store, like certain stores in a certain area, I can, I know how to navigate the area to, really anywhere. That's just, part of the lifestyle of it. But like I said, the motivation for me to live a better life and be a better man and take control of my life and not, have to go back to places like this, and not being able to see my family, it's really a mental thing. It's just, like I said, I want it this time. I want to actually be a better person.
Thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yeah, Mr. Steele, you've had quite a history. And, you're rated very high to recidivate. So feeling is that, a good chance you come out, you're going to end up back in prison. What changes that?
I'm going to go back to my mindset, working on recovery every day, reading the Bible every day, asking God every day that I wake up, Lord, please don't, allow me to use today. And I learned that from an H&I meeting, actually, and that stuck with me. It just asking for help, and he'll lead you the right way.
You seem to be doing some good things while you're there. That's for sure. While you're in that kind of environment right now, you seem to be doing really, really well. And you did have a period of time where you did do well on the outside. You did relapse, but you did, you were doing well. A little concern that I have is that, you want to, and I know you want to do all these really good things, right? The not-for-profit, the program you started, which is really, very good idea. This first day out, I like that. It's kind of an interesting idea to help, guys figure out what it is they got to do when they first get out there, which is something I think you need to be sure that you've worked on.
Okay.
So when you first get out, all of your stuff is set up and ready to go. So you're not setting up for other folks, but you're not, kind of taking care of yourself. And I heard that kind of attitude twice. I heard it there, and I heard it again when you were talking about another not-for-profit working with nursing homes. Another area where what I'm hoping is that you continue to focus on you, because you've had the addiction that you had was extremely serious, and you were lucky. You were very lucky. You didn't die of an overdose, because people are still dying on the streets. Right, so it's just a blessing for you that it didn't happen to you. So whatever you decide to do, you really need to stay on top of your issues and kind of get yourself together. Even if you've gone to NA, you'll tell you the first year out there, you're really focusing on who?
So
Yourself. that you're the most important person at this point, even though and that's not to put away all those thoughts that you have about what you want to do to kind of give back and create, situations for other people to get better. But I mean, yeah, your history is incredible. It's just, the damage that you caused on the outside, you said the total cards you totaled, the havoc you've created on the outside to sustain the habit that you had. You probably did get caught for a lot of the burglaries that you did, or a lot of the things that you did to get your money to be able to sustain that particular habit. Right. So, you're on a good track. Seems like, you putting yourself together. You got yourself involved in some good programming. You've been able to respond to us on, what some of that programming is. Keep on that track because you focus on you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have a case manager already at the TCM program?
Yes, his name is Jared Bickle.
Jared Bickle. So did he come to the facility?
Yes, a few times.
Right. Okay, that's great.
I thought I forwarded a letter to you guys.
But you probably did. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you did. I didn't make a note of it. I did note the program with SCAD though. Okay. I mean, it really does sound like you're putting the work in and you're ready to change. Do you still have the girlfriend?
No.
Are you in a relationship now?
No.
Okay.
I plan on keeping it that way for a while.
It's probably for the best for a while because you did have a lot to work on and struggled a little bit there. Okay. All right. Give us a few minutes to deliberate about your case and we'll give you our decision.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Zappo?
Mr. Steele is 35 years old. He is serving his second incarceration and has had 8 felony convictions, 2 community release failures, 1 success, and was on probation at the time of the offense. To date, he has supplied us with a very detailed reentry plan and has talked to us about the road to recovery and all the programming that he has done. Of note is the Second Chance program and the fact that he is now acting as a facilitator for several of the NA programs. I think that based on what I've heard today, I think that he is suitable for release. I think that he's set on a path where he understands that he's lucky to be here. I would encourage him to continue to pursue his associate's degree. I think that with his lived experience, he would make a phenomenal recovery coach. And I think that there's definitely a career there and opportunities to give back to the community if he was given that opportunity and uses the supports that he's going to be given. This is a flat sentence, so I'd like to see him have a period of community supervision as he transitions back into hopefully, at his request, a sober living environment and halfway house based on the plans that he submitted.
Okay. Mr. Rodriguez? Okay. What do you have for conditions?
I had no alcohol consumption.
I had that, and there's a series of co-defendants
Yeah.
throughout.
You don't have to list them all.
Okay. I think there's 1, 2,
Yeah, we don't have to. I have them. I just want to make sure she's on board with the conditions.
There's
Yeah.
6, yep.
Okay.
And then I was unsure about, based on our previous conversations, if there were going to be any management programs in the community. And if so,
What
which
kind of
one?
management program?
I was thinking mental health evaluation and
No, the evaluation did not recommend it. Yeah.
I
Okay.
just think there's a lot going on here.
Yeah. And he needs a halfway house.
Yes.
Okay. In the matter of Travis Steele, inmate number 352582, I'll move to grant parole. Let's see, effective today, December 30th, 2024, with the following additional conditions. You're not to have contact with your co-defendants: Melissa Haichi, Brandon Paquin, Michael McBrien, Brittany Clark, George Cameron, or Anthony Harris. You'll parole to halfway house, and you are not to consume alcoholic beverages while you're on parole. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. And you guys have a blessed day.
Good luck to you, sir. We wish you the best. Keep working.
Thank you.
Travis Steele, inmate number 352582.
Hi, Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, good morning.
Hi, so for the record, your case was inadvertently docketed for a parole hearing today, but your offense is not parole eligible. So we're
Yeah.
here today to set your special parole conditions. You're free to stay and listen to your conditions, but we will not be interviewing you today. Okay.
Okay.
Morning, my name is Officer Sherman. Today is Monday, December 30, 2024. The panel members today are Ms. Jennifer Zaccanini, Mr. Sergio Rodriguez, Ms. Ellen Zabel-Sass. They will be conducting a case review to set special parole stipulations for Nelson Sanchez, inmate number 415832.
Okay, thank you. So we have a registered victim, initials TD,
TD.
sex offender treatment, and a domestic violence program. Is there anything else?
Yep, that's fine.
Anything further? All right, in the matter of Nelson Sanchez, inmate number 415832, I'll move to set the following special parole conditions for his 10 years of special parole. No contact with victims, initials TD. Treatment for problem sexual behavior in the community, and a domestic violence program in the community. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Do you have any questions, sir?
Not this time. I'm good.
Very good. All right, we
Okay.
wish you the best, sir.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
Concludes the case review for Nelson Sanchez, inmate number 415832.
Good.
Y'all seven, consent.
Yeah, so stipulations. Just, I'd say especially, few months.
10 years.
Yeah.
Holy God, that's good. Jeez. I got 1 year. Special? Yeah. So if you got special parole, just for it, that's the modality. You know, stipulation. So,
Yes.